Me, I'm Nick. I'm on time for everything. Yeah, fucking right. Okay, Nick. You want to lay down the heat? Tell me how to start my podcast? I'm sorry, our podcast. Fuck. Look, I surrendered trying to demand wholesome rights to it. The moment I want to do a podcast, I want to make sure I didn't sound possessive. So I got to be careful because sometimes when I get power, I mess with this. Like I'll put somebody in timeout for a little bit under 100,000 seconds. I believe it was 99,999 seconds I put him.
Yeah, I had to unband Ricky. Like I was like, "What the fuck? Ricky just got fucking slapped here." And then I let it go for a few minutes, and then I unbanned him.
Okay, he wanted to make sure I was gone.
No, I just let him let him have his like thing for a little bit. Like I'll just like, yeah.
Okay, oh no, it was rude
it.
as shit. No, I mean I kind of felt bad because he followed me on Twitter.
No, it's fine. We do that shit to each other all the time, so it's.
I'm not used to being in the position I'm usually the one that's prejudiced against, so it feels weird. And I'm the kind of guy that's like, I must make an example. By having the power, I must show that I have restraint. This motherfucker is calling me Tyler. Oh, hell no. I was happy with Ty. I thought it was cute.
That was the funniest shit because it's 2 times Tyler, so he's like, Tyler. I was like, last night at least, that seemed fucking hilarious.
Maybe if I ever rebrand, it's kind of like Moon. I'll just call myself Tyler.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I ever show you the doorstop my mom made me that's in the shape of a Pikachu?
I believe you've told me about it, but I don't think you've ever shown it to me.
Okay. It's never on the camera for many reasons. But let me go grab it real quick before we start the show. I want you to appreciate. Yeah. Before I show it, though, I want to state for the record, my mom loves me. She loves doing crafts. And she made me this with all of her heart and love, okay?
Okay.
Jesus, this thing's heavy. Ugh. All right. I'm back.
Welcome back.
So my mom made me this Pikachu out of a cement block. And she tried really hard on it. It's she gave it a name. It's called Pokemon. And I don't maybe she thought because I liked My Little Pony back in the day, the cutie marks and stuff, so she put a cutie mark on it too. But my cute little doorstop or murder weapon. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very effective as a doorstop, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or a murder weapon. Oh yeah, that screams concussion, immediate. What's it called? Blunt force trauma.
Happy birthday to Tyler's mom.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to my mom.
Yeah.
You just sneeze at me, cat.
Fucking bitch ass, head ass. You want to fight?
Hey, don't talk bad about my cat.
Cat's probably runs the house, if I'm being honest.
The cat's a fucking queen. Okay. Are we ready to do this?
I believe so.
It got suddenly a lot warmer for me in here, and I'm afraid of that. So whatever we do, we better do it fast. All right. Nick, you are hosting, so this is all you, buddy.
Okay.
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 Jokes are bad, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Casual Master Quest. This is episode 51. I am your host for the episode, Nick, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Tyler.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a fun one for you tonight. Don't you worry. We're going to have so much fun. Hot damn. Nick, I
Hi.
feel like I have a big burden off my shoulders right now.
Why is that?
I feel freer.
Oh yeah.
I feel like is this like 2 weeks after your last fix kind of situation where it's like you love the drugs and all that stuff, but the moment you're free of it, you realize that you're such a bonehead?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly what that feels like. But in this case, you happen to be freer, but you happen to be putting on more things.
Are you calling me fat, motherfucker?
I mean, you said it.
Oh. Okay. Have a good day.
But we'll get to that in a minute. Otherwise, Tyler, how's your week been?
You know, it's been doing pretty good. I feel a lot better about my life after hearing that a $3 billion sub got sunk because they left the hatch open on the top.
A $3 billion nuclear submarine, India's first nuclear missile submarine.
And they sank it by accidentally leaving the fucking hatch open on the top.
Now, I'm not the most patriotic whatsoever, but this was funny when Tyler informed me of this article because this happened a little.
I didn't bring it up anything to do with country or race or anything like that.
No, you just saw like an article headline or whatever, and then you're wondering whether that was actually legit. If it said
Australia's first nuclear sub, first off, how the fuck did Australia get nuclear energy? And second off, it would still be funny as shit. But yeah,
it would still be funny as shit. Yeah. And I think this is a good way to deter nuclear warfare between India and Pakistan as situations are standing. But I can't speak too much about that. But at least somebody accidentally, and I'm doing the air quotation marks, left the hatch open.
Wow.
Yeah.
Open
probably.
I don't know. Why don't you?
Yeah, maybe. But beyond that,
having a good week. I've been having a good week, Nick. I've been driving all week, so I've been really busy in comparison to the usual get to sit down and goof off kind of stuff. But I did get a lot of stuff done. It's kind of weird because this weekend, it's Memorial Day weekend for the Americanos, and my wife is out camping right now, so I got the house to myself, which is great because I can always sit here in my underwear, and actually I'm not even in my underwear, but
you have that option.
Yeah, it's optional. Pants optional right now. It's always been, but now it's like super okay. In fact, it went from optional to recommended.
Right.
And also, it's kind of weird because I got responsibilities. Like I'm supposed to actually feed the dog and stuff. And
imagine feeding your pets.
I know, right? Well, my wife always beats me to it. It's like I go to bed at 5:45. Dogs are supposed to be fed at 6 a.m., 6 p.m. And so I'm in bed. She gets up, so she feeds the dog. I leave for work at 5:10, so she feeds the dog in the afternoon. So it's just been kind of the way it's been going.
Right.
And now it's kind of weird because now I get to do it. And I got, it's like, holy shit, I got to feed these fuckers. Otherwise they die. Or more than likely, they'll let me know that they're hungry. And by God, these cats,
they're not shy about letting you know that they're hungry.
No. Sometimes they the food bowl's still full. They just want to make sure I still respond to it. Like they do fire drills to make sure that I'll go and feed their bowl or fill their bowls up. It's ridiculous, Nick. But how's been your week?
Pretty okay. School and nothing too exciting. It was just my birthday, but that's it. This past week.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you. I've been seeking so much attention this week because it's the only week I'll allow myself to be like, yeah, it's my birthday, give me attention. Be like,
it's your fucking birthday, dude.
Yeah. But no, otherwise, yeah. So, did I talk about my role playing class?
You've mentioned that you've enrolled for it before. I'm not sure if you did it on the podcast before, but you've made it very, very clear that you got. I think you have talked about it.
Yeah, maybe either last episode or the episode before that. But I got my character assigned this week.
Yes, you were talking about the French Revolution. You were definitely talking about this.
Yeah. So over the course of this course, we play 2 role playing games, and for the first one, it's based on the French Revolution, and I'm playing somebody who's not part of a faction, not part of any of the political factions. He's in a role known as an indeterminate. And so some of the factions have to vie for my power that I possess, and I have
That's
my own
fair.
goals to win the game. But basically, I sit on the committee of finance, and my goal is basically to ensure that France doesn't lose any, doesn't go bankrupt.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
we
watch
start,
out from them Franks. They come and get you real quick.
and we
I'm pretty
start.
sure. I feel like Franks is actually the name of like an enemy combatant of some foreign country back in a different war.
Francs. I'm. It sounds familiar. I know francs were the currency of France at some point.
Yeah, yep, with the C, that makes sense.
But yeah,
Uh,
and so
all
yes,
right, I got some fun facts for you. Ready for this?
yeah. Let's go.
So the Frank is a it was a member of Germanic speaking people who invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century. So Franks were a group of people that is now part of what is now present day Germany, and they decided to beat up what is now present day Italy. I know I'm
Okay,
tearing
that
this
wasn't too
apart,
wrong.
but
No, it's fine. What would Casual Mass Quest be without our many tangents, albeit
yeah,
of all
random
sizes?
history.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, my job is to make sure that France doesn't go bankrupt at the time, and we're starting the game July 1st, 1789. And each session basically is run by us because we were running the National Assembly by us as students, and we're given different roles. And then our prof is just sitting in the back. She's the game master, and she plays other historical figures outside of France, all these other different powers. And so every now and then she'll cue us into like a world event that's happening. And so this method of teaching, or this kind of seminar, is called reacting to the past and not reenacting. So things aren't supposed to go the way history has gone. So if we look at history after July 1st, 1789 in France, we can look to that as inspiration for what we want to do or how we want to play our characters. But that's not what we're not supposed to know that information while we're in character, right?
Hmm.
Um,
I
yeah, so
wonder
that's pretty exciting.
I wonder if you'll eventually, since you're part of the bank for France, if you would be part of the Louisiana Purchase.
That is not something I know about.
Okay.
I will be honest. Yeah,
Back in the day,
I've
1803
heard of
for
it,
you.
but yeah,
The U.S. Was started off with the 13 colonies and all that, and they
right.
expanded a little bit as English-based colonies originally. But France owned a lot of land that was in like the dead center of the United States that's today. And
Right.
so I believe France, looking for a shit ton of money at the time, sold what is called the Louisiana section, which was pretty much a very large, like I would say a third of the US to the actual United States for some $15 million.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense then, because the one of the reasons for the revolution to this part of this part of history, was the fact that there was just no money. People were rioting because there's no money. The nobility, the higher ups, they were hoarding all the money, all the food, all the resources. But even they were running out of money. And King Louis XVI, who was a ruling leader at the time, was struggling. And then he called a meeting for people to figure out how to get his money back. They're like,
We
if
should have done a skip for it.
we can. I mean, I think our first game session starts on the. Let's see here. Our first game session starts on the 28th.
King David Cage the third.
And I think we go on to like the middle of June. So I think we
France
do
is
5
going
or
bankrupt. We need another David Cage game.
6.
Wait, is that his name?
David Cage.
Yeah.
David Cage was the Heavy Rain guy. So
Okay, just making sure
yeah.
I wasn't losing it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
But yeah, that's that. And taking an animation course. It's whatever. I don't care for animation. I respect people who can do it. I can't remember what my other course is. I think it's a boring writing course. But that's school. And then my birthday came around.
happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you very much. Didn't really do much on the day because it was middle of the week. I sound like this because I went out, as we're recording this, I went out last night and had some fun. Just some friends, had some drinks, ate some food. We went ramen. We went for ramen, and then we went for some
Nice.
beers, and yeah, that's it. I actually, uh, so I actually made like an event on Facebook, like a birthday party last week.
Hmm.
Um,
I didn't get
uh,
invited. What the fuck, Nick?
yeah, because I just didn't want to have you there. You know what I mean?
Well, shit, son. God damn. Okay, bye.
All right.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
So anyways, I made the event and I asked like a few people, all right, what day would work for you, Friday or Saturday? Majority said Friday. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll have it on Friday. I'll make an event. We'll go, growing up, at least with, my culture, um, the birthday party pays for everything. So like I pay for the food, I pay for the drinks because I'm not going to sit and argue why or explain that's just how it is. So I was like,
Okay.
all right, I'll pay, I'll buy the food, but booze is BYOB because I don't know what people like and booze is expensive. So I'm like, you know what, just bring your own booze, but I'll pay for all the food. So the plan was to go get some sushi, come back to my place, have a few drinks, just
And
relax,
get the
have some
four
fun.
horsemen.
Never again.
What about the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th horsemen?
They can suck my dick. And so
Fair answer,
I'm
Jesus.
So we're recording this on a Saturday, right? It was
I think so, yeah.
Last Saturday, I made the event 1 week ago. After asking everybody what day they'd prefer, come Wednesday, the day before my birthday, nobody RSVPs at all, save for Eugene and a friend of mine, and I'd invited
Oh,
like
no.
10 people. Yeah.
Oh no.
So I said, "Fuck it, fuck all you. I'm canceling this shit. I'm going downtown." So that's what we did.
Nice. Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if
Yeah.
you invited the right people, you asshat, maybe somebody would have actually came.
Oh, right. Were you gonna pay $600 to take a flight all the way to Seattle and then get on another flight, come to Canada, get off the airport, come hang out for a day, and then go back to the airport and do that process all over again?
No, you dumbass. I'll just fly to Seattle and make you pick me up on your birthday.
I never would do that.
What? What the hell,
No.
Nick?
If it wasn't my birthday, I'd do it. But if it was my birthday, I'd be like, all right, take a Greyhound.
If I. Damn.
Yeah, I'd pick you up from the Greyhound
Damn.
station. Greyhound is like $30, $40, I think.
If you ever visit Michigan and you land at the Detroit airport, you're like, all right, I'm here. I'm like, okay, start walking north. I'll find you sooner or later.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm down.
just see it.
Gotta get my cardio in.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of cardio. Be running. So Nick, when I went to Canada, I had a vape juice called The One. It was a strawberry flavored, kind of donut flavored.
Yeah,
it's weird because on the label it'll show the fruit, the shape of a donut, and then the shape of the milk. And so it's like, I guess it's a 3-in-1 combo at this point. I got that strawberry stuff. My wife doesn't actually care for strawberries. Loves the shit out of the juice. Loves it so much. So much that she decided to buy her own vape rig. And that's weird to me because I understand I kept yelling at her saying, stop touching my vape rig. I need the juice for myself. Right. I was like Gollum with the ring. I was like, my precious.
Right.
What's my vape juice? And it was getting frustrating, but I wasn't like giving her shit for it. But she was like, you know, fuck it. I'll get my own vape. And she did. And so she had me order online. Like, she didn't ask. She just told me, you need to get more of that juice right now. And it's like, she can do it herself, but she didn't trust the vape site, which I think it was eJuice or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I like to think is trusted. But yeah, I got a 3-pack and I'm currently working on the apple flavored because I shit you not, she went up north and she took the fucking bottle with her. So
nice.
That's gone. So that's cool. I like that. And
I'm sorry, Tyler.
It's okay. I got 2 other flavors. It's Oh, are you apologizing for?
I'm apologizing for showing you the juice, and that's spiraled all the way down to this. Like me introducing that juice to you has trickled all the way down to this particular event.
Like the complete opposite of gatekeeping. Instead of like making sure only like the most serious get in, you're kind of like a carnival barker. Come on, come on, try the One vape juice. It's so good. Strawberry, it'll make you feel good. Anyways, yeah,
it's funny because I don't even like the One. I mean, I really like it, but I don't do a lot of desserty stuff. I prefer fruity stuff. So like I'll have like the sweeter desserty stuff every now and then.
You know the question I'm going to ask then.
Yeah.
Why? Oh,
why did I show it to you?
Yeah, why was that the first thing you showed to me if you knew
I asked, what did I ask? I asked, do you like fruity or do you like desserty? You said I'll try whatever. And the one is a fantastic juice. It's just me, like I can't vape on the one all the time. A, it's not great for coils. B, like I get sick of that like super sweetness pretty quick.
Wait, is it bad for coils? Because I was kind of frustrated because I bought quad mesh coils
Yeah,
and I've been burning through them fairly quickly.
yeah, because it's super sugary. So any kind of desserty like sweet juice just goes through coils like there's no tomorrow.
Well, damn. I will have to switch over to something different because I had 2 coils and I burnt through both of them in the course of a week so far. It was kind of freaky how quickly I went through them. Other than that, though, I just want to give a shout out for anybody who actually listened to me last time, which I doubt it, but who knows? There's always got to be that one person, right? Season 2 of She-Ra came out on Netflix. So if you got into She-Ra like me and enjoyed it despite its small flaws, season 2 came out. Now, season 1 was 13 episodes. Right now, I think they technically only have half of season 2 out. It's only like 6 or 7 episodes. Pretty fucking good, though. I really think so. I wouldn't recommend it to you, Nick, though, because
Why not? I'm offended.
because yeah, I bet you are. I'm Tyler. Every time I suggest something to you, you put it at the bottom of the list, so I don't want to refresh the bottom yet.
If it helps, it's not just you.
I know it's not. That's why.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Tyler, we are a video game podcast.
Sometimes we are. I feel like there's some hostility in the air here. What's going on here, Nick? You want to fight?
Sure, but do you want to get
Okay.
some food first? I'll be down for like a steak first before we fisticuffs.
I would if I was ever invited, but also if we're going for steak, you're going south of the border, dude. I ain't falling for that 12-ounce steak shit.
I like a 12-ounce steak. It's just the right size for me.
Oh, great. I like the little family fun size. Get a Happy Meal too while you have it. Does that fill you too, a Happy Meal?
Bro, a Happy Meal? Fuck yeah.
Oh.
You get a little burger, some fries, a little drink, dude, and a little toy? Hell yeah.
Oh, a little twirly hat too. Look at you, Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, video games.
Yes. Okay. I'm assuming you want to talk about video games. Are you trying to push us along? Is that where this is going?
Yeah, I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. I'm going to talk about video games first, and then we're going to dive deep into your video game adventures this week, Tyler.
There will be no deep diving, sir, because I've done the divest deeper. The deepest dive in Nintendo history, and I was flagged for false advertising. So no,
false
sir.
Advertisement because you didn't dive deep enough. Anyways, slow week on my end. I've just been busy adjusting to a new school schedule, and like two of my course, the role playing course and my writing course, there's a lot of reading. Like I think
There's
over the
nothing
past
here that's video game related. You just said we're going to talk about video games. Let's talk
will
about
you
everything.
will you let me? So I think
I'm
over
sorry,
the past
Captain
3
Prologue.
weeks. Over the past 3 weeks, I've read 400 pages just for over 2 courses. So the only video games I've touched this week have been Overwatch and Deceit. Overwatch because I'm a masochist and I'm a sadist, and self-deprecation is apparently my favorite thing. So I've been playing Overwatch, putting myself through that for whatever reason. Oh, actually,
what?
I played some Destiny 2. I forgot about that. I did a birthday stream.
Oh, really? You played Destiny 2?
Okay, well, I haven't played it in weeks, and I only played Destiny 2 because I got a couple of friends together. I got 8 of us together, and we jumped into some private matches in Crucible. So it was just like 8 of us. We took away some of like the bullshit weapons that make us, a little frustrated, and we're just running around having a good time with it. Actually, I was surprised because I was able to get a lot of people together. And they admitted the only reason that they reinstalled Destiny or even bothered to say yes was because I asked and it was my birthday. And then B, like it was a solid like hour and a half, 2 hours, just like good fun. Like everybody had fun, and I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting some people to get frustrated at times, but no, it was just like solid fun throughout.
That's cool. Hey, 2 things. First one is I do still have it installed, and I'm still waiting for that time that we can play together and do all those raids that you're talking about. Hint, hint. Second thing is I bet I can get past the U.S. Canada customs border as you by saying, "Hi, I play Destiny 2. Hello, Mr. Chonumelo. Please come on in it." Fucking calling it. Bet it could. Just saying.
Okay, yeah, yeah. You just have to get a little bit of a tan going, but otherwise, I think you could do so.
Why you can't say I accidentally got Michael Jackson?
Tyler, we couldn't be the more appropriate definition for polar opposite.
Are you sure?
Just a little bit.
Look, I now know what the difference between a duck is. Okay.
I still don't, and I've known that thing that he says. I've known the answer and like the question that he asked for like
What is the difference between a duck?
4 years. I'm not even gonna go into it. I refuse to bring this up, and so I played Deceit as well, and we've talked about
Both-
Deceit.
One leg is both the same.
Deceit is you play as 6 people, you get put in like a thing, you have 3 different
a great joke.
levels, you have 2 people who are infected, and you go around lying to each other trying to figure out who's infected before the infected kill you at night. And then there's a game that came out earlier, like I think yesterday actually, Splitgate. Have you heard of Splitgate,
Really?
Tyler?
I have not. What's it about?
Splitgate is like if you take Halo and if you take Portal and you put them together.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Hit me.
It's a 4-person arena shooter, and then you get portals, like in Portal, 2 different colors, and you can put them down. I think in most places, I think there are specific surfaces where you can place portals, or you can put them anywhere. I'm not sure, but it looks very much like Halo. The portal mechanic looks very interesting. Gunplay apparently is pretty good, so I'm excited to like download it and give it a go. It's free to play on Steam right now, so.
Yeah, it is. Came out on last Friday. Yesterday for us, last Friday for this listeners. Completely free. There is a DLC pack right now, the Founders Edition for $20, but that is not required.
Yeah, I'm
And
assuming
yeah-
that's like cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah, this is like I'm watching the trailer right now, and it's showing legit like you're placing or there's portals that are pre-placed that you can run through and use physics to get to different parts of the area. That looks cool as shit. No, that looks like they're actually putting portals. Yeah, they're putting portals down. Goddamn.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to give that a go.
He threw a portal behind the guy he was trying to shoot at, but the guy was shooting at him, throws it behind him, hits the wall behind him, and he throws the other portal right next to him. And so he just kind of sidesteps and gets right behind this guy. He flanks him with this fucking portal. That looks cool as shit.
Yeah, because it has been said that the era of the arena shooter has declined very much so, like considering that we're in a era of battle royales. And so maybe introducing some kind of new gameplay mechanic like this to a gameplay style or feel similar to Halo that people, or at least the old guard is more familiar with and wants back, I think maybe would be enough to bring something back, but I can't say for sure. I just want to play it.
Old Cobb remembers when Halo 3 multiplayer was a thing. Old Cobb, he remembers.
Yeah, this looks like something that would be interesting. You should give it a shot, and then you should let me know if it's worthwhile, and I'm sure you'll convince me to give it a shot because I got a vacuum in my life right now.
Yeah, and then I will obviously stream it at a time that you will never be able to watch it.
Right. You will I'll say, hey, you'll want to talk about something like, hey, I gotta go to work. Like, oh, perfect. I was about to stream.
Either that or while you're sleeping. But Tyler, why don't you tell us about what's been going on in your life when it comes to video games? Because you hit a pretty big milestone. You've achieved a lifelong dream.
This is probably one of those things I would rank on the same level as the day that I did 100% completion of Wind Waker HD. No, it was just regular Wind Waker.
Right.
I was very excited, and my first time completing a Zelda game to 100%, and I did that a few years ago. But this, I would like to think, is probably the biggest video game achievement in my life. I wish I could say something, maybe the Ocarina of Time randomizer, that was pretty cool too. That was a pretty good, game achievement. And, I guess, beating Halo 3 on whatever the hardest difficulty is, makes me feel cool and stuff like that. But, I was a really simple person. I never really strived for humongous goals like that in a video game that is, requires that much grind. Yeah. But the game I'm talking about in this case is Yeah, RuneScape 3, which this could very well be the last time I am allowed to talk about it because I promised my wife that I would stop playing RuneScape 3, that I would uninstall it, which I haven't done yet, if I got the max skill cape. And max skill cape requires you to get a 99 in every single skill. And anybody who's played RuneScape a day in their life knows how hard that can be just to get a single skill to 99. Like it took me a very long time. Now, thankfully, RuneScape 3 offers a different variety of ways to level faster and all that. But it was still a hellish grind. But
Well,
I fucking did it.
not like more tedious and boring than hellish, and like it just took a long time, but it wasn't like you're being tortured through it.
Right. Like, to put it in perspective, one of my first 99s I got back in the day before I went to RuneScape 3 was fishing. And fishing for me was, you could basically do two things. You can sit there and wait for 5 minutes while you pull out monkfish and then run to the bank, and that's your big excitement. And then you go back and then you talk to the poor other souls that are doing it. Or you could go to a different location and you can pull sharks out. And that was it.
Right.
And that was fucking it. You would just sit there for 4 minutes watching anime or some shit like that, whatever the fuck you do, and, you know, try to chat with people, and then you just run to the bank. And that was the only thing you did. And you would do that for like 40, 50 hours to get to a 99 skill cape. And that was just torture, dude. And shit, just thinking about
But it's over now, and you have the skill cape.
it's fucking over. I have 99 every skill, which opens up the possibility, if I were to continue. It's kind of like hitting level 50 in Destiny right now, or whatever the max level. Like, you hit the max level, it just means you can do raids and bosses and stuff. You're at your max potential, and you can go even further in a different direction. Like, right now, there are a bunch of bosses and stuff that I would love to fight, and getting the max cape opens up like portals directly to them. So if, instead of like doing this horrible trek for a single kill, I can now actually do it efficiently.
Right.
Problem is, though, like I said, I promised my wife that I would quit. And so I'm telling myself that I'm supposed to have what is called max cape burnout. It's a legit thing that in the like RuneScape community, where you spend so much time in part of your life that you once you get the max cape, you're just fucking burnt out because you spend hundreds of hours just to get this fucking cape.
Right.
I don't have that, Nick. I want to keep playing.
Well,
Like,
what
there's
if
so much I want to do.
what if they introduce a new skill?
Then that technically means it will actually deactivate my max skill cape, and I would have to go back to get it.
Okay. I was just
Like,
curious as to how that would work, just in general, with people who already have the skill capes.
Basically, in the past 5 years, I think 2 or 3 skills have been introduced, and basically the day that skill comes out, capes will appear in their inventory and they can't wear it anymore, and then they get kicked out of what is called the max guild. So they just basically get locked out. It's like, ha, you don't got max and shit, son. You better wear one of your 99 capes because you ain't wearing this one, and then you gotta, you know, spend fuck. So
Right,
I mean,
right.
at the very least, I have a little comfort knowing that if they ever release a new skill, I can go back and play it that way. But fuck, man, I was, you know, I know this is a weird way of describing it, but I was telling you that I have postpartum depression. Like,
Yeah.
you know, now that I have this cape, you know, I put my all into it, and now that it's done, it's just, fuck, I worked so hard, and now it's just, I'm exhausted, but I want to keep playing, and now it's over. It's fucking over, dude. And so I've been trying to find different games to fill in the void. And I realized a lot of the times I've been grinding on RuneScape, I've been watching on Twitch Grand Theft Auto roleplaying.
I love GTA RP so much.
I know. And the moment you mentioned it, and I started watching like the big names, and I thought, you know, okay, but then I started watching the little guys. And the little guys are just as much fun, but they also interact with their audience a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm watching a guy on Twitch that's like Call Me Grub or something like that. He's a sheriff in the No Pixel server, and he just has a fucking wild time, and I love him.
What's his character's name?
I think it's Mikey Diaz.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The one thing I can remember is he's Australian, and anytime he gets shot down, he says he
Yeah.
never got hurt
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he's wearing authentic koala skin suit.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing with GTRP is it's a well RP in general. The viewership on Twitch is a little bit different. You have the viewers that want the streamer to be able to interact with them, but you also have the viewers who want the streamers to be completely committed to the RP, right? And not like they don't want the streamer to break their immersion, right? So really they're just going to sit down and they're just going to RP their character. They're not going to read any alerts, any like donations, subs, whatever. They're just doing their thing. So
Right. It makes sense. Don't break the meta.
Yeah, so just not even about breaking meta, like he's just like the viewer just wants to see it like they're watching a TV show, right? That's the kind of like immersion that they want, and so it's just really about finding a streamer you like, which is I think the case with anything. I personally, and I think we have a shared enjoyment for Moon Moon.
I enjoyed him originally, yes.
Okay.
I started shifting away because Moon Moon, Mr. Young Dab, I believe his name is, and you got Mr. Chang.
Maximilian Thoroughbred and Mr. Chang, yeah.
And then you got Charles, aka the character that's played by Summit 1G. As I'm sure you can guess, they're all, gang lords and all that stuff, and their main enjoyment is driving fast cars and robbing banks. And people love that shit. They eat it up. However, I am the underdog kind of guy. I like to support an underdog. So when I see that, Mikey Diaz, sheriff at BCGO, whatever the hell it's called, is chasing down like this in real life, a big name, but in the game it's just this annoying ass crook that talks shit. I'm cheering the sheriff on. It's like, I hope you T-bone this motherfucker.
Oh no, 100%. There are also some fantastic. I think one of my favorite cops in the No Pixel server is 41. I can't remember what his character. Archer. He plays Deputy Archer.
Okay.
And
I know Ziggy. I know Snow. I think Snow is chief of the police.
Snow, is she chief of CID? Anyways, GTRP, like the kind of characters and relationships they build. Not to say that other RP doesn't do it. It's just that GTRP is what's hot right now. So it's what's trending. And it started with not that these RP streamers didn't have a viewer base or people didn't know who they were, but it started with Summit getting into it, and then he just bought all the bigger names along with him, kind of, right? So Summit is maybe the biggest like mainstay because Tim the Tatman gave it a go, Dr. Lupo did, Ninja. But a lot of them, kind of drifted off because it just wasn't for them. And Summit, I think he's had his he is a variety streamer. I would consider him because he does go through his phases of shooters to like a whole bunch of other things. Because of him, he bought some Limelight to GTRP, and everybody's taken their full they've taken full advantage of those 15 minutes of fame. And so it's just good to see other parts of gaming on Twitch flourishing outside of shooters and like action games. So
right. And because of that, I decided to get Grand Theft Auto, which I'm almost 100% certain that you're supposed to get it through Steam, because when you're downloading and installing 5M, which is the mod extension that allows the multiplayer aspect, it's wanting to get your Steam name, it's wanting to access your Steam file for the game and all that stuff. So hypothetically, you can buy it. You can buy Grand Theft Auto 5 from the Rockstar website for $20 right now, but I don't know for certain if you can use that for the role-playing aspect.
I think you can, because I had some friends buy it from G2A, and they were able to link their accounts somehow. But I couldn't tell you how. I
said fuck it, so I got an extra Grand Theft Auto 5 account or code if anybody wants it, and I have it installed. And I hopped on a server that you recommended, Nick. I believe it was called Havoc RP.
Yeah, just a good starter server.
You bet it was a good starter server, because some interesting things happened a moment from the get-go, dude. Like,
Yeah, no, like people are just, especially with Havoc. Before you continue the story, they're just very hungry to try out the role playing and just kind of like feel out their characters and how it works. Which is why I said it's a good starter server because you can just make a character and kind of dick around and do whatever you want, before you take it like seriously. So yeah, so what happened?
so there was two servers because the first one was full.
Yeah.
That's acceptable. And I sit there, I make a character. It's been a while, and I think I joked to you about making Doug the Bounty Hunter. And I
Right.
was like, okay, that's probably not going to happen as a server because I'm not too familiar with all the controls and all that stuff. Let's just call him Doug Hunter and call it good. So Doug Hunter, who is a sentient right now, he does not have a job. He's very well unemployed. I make him. He looks like he's the closest thing I could describe is the South will rise again looking motherfucker. And he comes walking out, and within 2 minutes of walking down the street, I'm trying different emotes, and I try the jackhammer one where you got a jackhammer in the ground.
Right.
Somebody sees this and realizes I'm not a local and proceeds to just Superman punch me straight to the ground. And goes to loot my body, realizes I have absolutely nothing on me, and just walks off. Well, I'm on the ground. I got 3 minutes before I bleed out and either die or spawn at a hospital or something like that.
Right.
But thankfully, I was able to call for an EMS, and there was one on the server, and his name was, I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Woods. And he comes up to me, and he's not saying anything, and I'm like, that's weird. And I'll push the button. I'm talking. I'm like, I can see my name light up, so I know I'm talking. And he's not talking. But then I see that he has a number above his head and it's lighting up. And I'm like, oh shit, he is talking. I can't hear him. So I'm panicking and I'm saying, 1 second, sir, because I can't break roleplay. You're not supposed to ever break roleplay. I'm like, I need to get some Q-tips. I'm having a little trouble hearing you right now. And so I fix that. I go to the settings. I realize I got to raise his volume up and so that I can hear him. And then he's like, you might need to speak up a little bit. I can barely hear you. And I had to fucking raise my volume. And so it was just a weird role-playing situation.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's an issue with other servers, but Havoc does have the code's a little buggy and it's a little sloppy, but it's whatever. The one thing I want to say though is that player who punched you out right at the beginning shouldn't have done that. I know. That was what is it called? 4-star P. Like Power Gaming, I think it's called.
It's called Power Gaming, where if there's no reason in the story, just came up to me and tried to mug me, and it was just some random person. And so I understand that. I respect that. I didn't care. So I started talking with the EMS, and he's doing this check. He's like, how many fingers am I holding? And I say 1. He's asking me the countdown and stuff like that. Now I'm humoring him, which it's not really humoring him because technically it's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
But this is my first attempt at doing this. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, my name's Doug Hunter. Just walking around. Got a good old Los Santos welcome just a second ago.
And I tell him I'm new, and he's like, oh, well, since this is your first time here, I don't really need this because I can't have any use for it anymore. Here's a little bit of something. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because I'm so used to watching the No Pixels server that there's an inventory, but I don't think there's an inventory in Havoc. If there is, I haven't found it.
It's like F1, I think.
F1 brings up your phone.
And F2.
But F2 brings up your finances through your bank.
And there is an inventory. I promise you there's an inventory. Like I found it before.
Okay, cool. But in any case, I'm just saying, like, what the fuck is he giving me? And all of a sudden I see plus $100,000. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like the game starts me off with a majestic 25,000, so I could probably afford a nice motorcycle or something like that. And suddenly he's like trying to spot me for a Lamborghini at this rate. It's like, Jesus, okay. Mr. Woods, you are looking great today, sir. And he's like, I hope you don't feel too bad. I'm like, it's hard to look sad on a fucking Ski-Doo, dude. And so I just start walking around the city because I didn't want to break into a car. I didn't want to cause that kind of trouble. And I'm just walking around and enjoying myself. But then I had to get off because the server restarted. And then when I hopped back on, there was only like 4 or 5 people in the spillover server that I was on. So I basically just talked with Mr. Woods a little bit more, listened to a guy talking about how he's trying to find his butt and he needs the drugs or something like that. And then I was good. I decided I needed to work on the podcast. And so here I am.
And here we are.
And technically, this isn't a video game, Nick. I'm not sure if you'll allow the ruling on this. One of the last games on my list there.
I'll allow it.
Yes, sir. In preparation for tomorrow, which is going to be yesterday for the listeners, or technically Sunday, since you may not listen to it on Monday, I got a D&D session for a lot of people, including Nick here. It's going to be the episode 2. It's the one where I promised everybody that I was going to give them the podcast, and it's still sitting as a raw file on my desktop right now because it's really creaky in terms of the audio quality. Honestly, I'd much rather have the comfort of my players than try to turn into a commercialized product.
Right.
But it's kind of weird when, one person doesn't have a mic on, but they want to talk, so they're shouting across the room to their significant other. Just shit like that, unfortunately. And so, yeah. It's weird because I was going to do level 1, level 3, level 5, but the problem is, though, we only got halfway through level 1. And so I don't want to just, shoot you forward straight to level 3. So I had to spend the past week working on a level 2 section of the campaign and fleshing it out. And I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm just kind of going as I go. And it was weird because after doing the first one, I'm like, all right, people are going to state their complaints, going to, find a reason to sit out and shit. Only one person wanted to leave the group, and that was because they got a new job and they couldn't attend it with the hours, and it freaked me the fuck out.
Outside of their schedule. Yeah, no, we had fun, dude. Honestly, I think some confusion on my end because I don't know what was going on, but I ended up having fun towards the end and just kind of like doing whatever. And the kind of
that's the fun part. Do whatever, as long as you don't do anything that'll kill you.
Kind of campaign you built for us also allowed us to mess around a little bit more. And I don't know if this is like a standard kind of D&D kind of campaign, but like I feel like it felt like something you wrote, and I'm like, all right, if it's something Tyler wrote, it's probably going to be there's going to be some allowances for a little bit of crazy.
Absolutely. It comes with certain DMs, a very few, but there are some that's like super serious, by the books. If you do anything that could potentially result in death, I'm going to make sure you know it and you feel it. And other times it's like, yes, Sam. It's always going to be a yes, Sam to me. Because I think I said this in the very beginning in the Discord. I want you guys to be able to ask if you can do something. And I say yes. If it's something crazy, I'm going to, point out that there might be consequences. But if you want to do this and lose a leg for it, just for the sake of, enjoying the, the fact that you pulled off this move, fucking do it. Just, have fun. And so, unfortunately, this was, like Baby's first campaign. And so everybody was like, ho, ho, look at us. We're sandbags. You can murder us. But now it's like, I got to put something that gives like a little threat to you now. That way, you got to make sure you're like, haha. I don't just call him up to this enemy and defeat him with the power of music or something like that. which you can, Nick. Which you can. Like if you see a bad guy and you want to lure him your way by playing the your little sitar or no, I think he had a violin. A viol, sorry. You're more than welcome to. I'm curious because it's interesting. I don't know what you guys are gonna fucking do. I have no idea. Some of you might be like, I'm gonna sit this out because I don't know what I want to do. But there's always going to be that one guy. It's like, I'm going to do something fucking stupid and see what happens. And it could be anything. And it's like, I got to react. I'm like, all right. So you're going to try to copulate with the skeleton. Okay.
I feel like you're speaking from experience there.
No, because that was an ogre's head. A decapitated
completely different things. But no, I believe I did something like that last round. I believe we were pushing up on a bandits camp, and the team was trying to figure out what to do, and I'm like, fuck it, and I just walked right up, and I was playing. I'm like, I'm gonna walk right up, play my viol. I'm gonna like try and distract them, and then one of my strings broke or something.
Yeah, there was a meadow passage that you that was blocked off by two guys eating sausages by a campfire, and everybody's trying to figure out if they should sneak through the woods or whatnot, try to walk past them somehow, lure them out. And you're just kind of like, watch this, and you just pull out your violin and you start performing. And no offense, I think in that case he rolled poorly, so it was in fact a very terrible performance.
Yeah.
And they just had no idea what the fucking make do out of it before people shot out of the bushes like madmen. But yeah, that was fun. And we got to work on that sometime tonight to make sure you're up to date and see if we can't find you some cool shit to mess around with and have fun with tonight.
Yeah, I think I have a bit of a better idea of my playstyle, or at least what the spells are like and what they can do. So, yeah, no, I'm excited.
Well, it's weird because a lot of people don't know that certain classes are either focused. I mean, there's two things you got to worry about: role play and combat. Some people are classes are meant for role play. Some people are combat. Some are jack of all trades. You are a role play heavy character, so right. I want you to have fun with shit like that. If you're gonna play a warrior, okay, or a barbarian, I guess you could role play. You want to arm wrestle, but there's not too much to work with there.
Yeah, it just seems very run of the mill to me. And I figured I'd want to do something different, and from the very beginning, I think very early on with the Casual Master Quest, I think the first skit or the first big skit that we had, I was written in as a bard. So I'm like, why don't we just roll with that?
An elf bard, no less, which I believe you are a half elf in this equivalent. So yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'll hopefully we'll get into some nasty shindigus, and don't stay too late or don't stay up too late tonight. So I don't want you fucking groggy as shit when you're about to go into the forest of death or whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah, no promises. So Tyler, are you
fair?
Are you a Sonic fan?
One would say that I appreciate Sonic from a distance, but I missed that gate because I was such a Nintendo fanboy when I was a kid that I kind of blew past the whole Sega section. I never owned a Sega console until much, much later. And I've only owned one Sega console. That's the Sega Genesis, actually.
Okay. And I wasn't expecting this, and I'm glad we're actually talking about this because this is actually can be an important little piece of conversation. But so our modular segment today is about the Sonic the Hedgehog being delayed, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie being delayed because they're changing the animation for Sonic. And so the
supposedly,
question, yeah. And so the question here is, when is it okay to give in to the demands of the fans or of the people, and when is it okay to actually put your foot down and stand your ground? Tyler, what are your thoughts on this in general?
I had a couple of things to think about this with this is sorry, I can't even make a fucking sentence out of that. I had a couple of things to think about in regards to this. When people see, their favorite franchise, in this case Sonic, people do get nervous because we've had movie makers who are like, fans will love this thing. Let's take their vision and just make whatever the fuck we want with it. And there's a problem with that because we get things like the Mario Brothers from 1988 or whatever. That was just a horrible travesty.
Or the live action Airbender movie that never happened.
It's yes. There's similar things also like the Dragon Ball Z one, or
I saw that movie. That was horrible.
And everybody agrees that the porn reimagining of most of those movies are actually much better than the actual movies themselves. Now, a lot of those are made by actually the same company over in Japan, but the point is, video game companies have been really reserved because they know if they let somebody else make a movie out of their stuff and the movie bombs, that affects them too.
Yeah.
And so the idea that Sega's doing this almost screams we have nothing left to lose. But at the same time, they're also, really nervous because if they screw this up, it's going to look bad because Sonic's fan base over the years is probably one of the most infamous, if not the most notorious fan group when it comes to video games.
How so?
I can't. Uh, the I feel like Sonic fans have been the most outspoken, and I don't even know how to go into details with this, Nick. When you think of like big fan groups about media, I think of Sonic. I think of the whole Brony situation with My Little Pony. Obviously Zelda would have their huge fan group, and if you put something down on the plate that they don't like, they're usually very quick to let you know that they're dislike of it.
Right.
But like if I had to put on a scale, it's like My Little Pony is a strong 6, Zelda's a 4, but then Sonic is fucking 11. Like it was always like, if you put something on the table that is Sonic related, there's going to be 2 people that like it and 10 people that hate it because it doesn't match their perfect vision. And so, they put a fucking movie that's supposed to say Sonic on the title in front of everybody. It applies to every single Sonic fan over every single generation. A couple of them are like, okay, Sonic, I'll take whatever I can get. I like to eat shit. But there's of them, some of them are like, that does not follow the true, Sega vision.
Right.
It doesn't look anything like it. And the nice thing is, even if you're just one voice, you can be fucking loud if you really, really want to.
Right. For me, the main takeaway from the story for me, not main takeaway, but the one big positive point is that so when fans started a petition or were clamoring for change in art style for Sonic, right, to change the animation, make him look actually like Sonic, the creators, the producers, whoever were like, yeah, we heard you. We're gonna take some time, not take some time, but we're gonna rework his animation, rework how Sonic looks like. And then came immediate backlash from some of the same fans or some of the more industry minded fans who are like, well, congratulations, you got what you asked for, but at what expense? How many hours are these animators and VFX artists now are gonna have to spend up and like work during crunch time, right? And so the good thing for me is, or at least the positive that I can see here, is that they pushed back the release date to give the VFX artists and animators time to rework the new Sonic redesign, which I think is important that a big company or a big studio like this is doing. Despite it not being in the gaming space, it still has it still shows that people can do this. I know these are very different kind of executives, very different kind of monies kind of involved, politics, very different deadlines. But for me, I'm glad to see a studio keeping its artists in mind.
It's interesting because when it comes to the movie industry, if somebody puts a trailer out and people complain about it, they don't give a fuck. They push the movie anyways. And the movie comes out and they make a shit ton of money at the movie theaters, and that's it. You take the money and run. See Batman versus Superman. It made huge amounts of money in the first couple of weeks in the theaters, but it became insanely unpopular with a lot of people, but they still made a shit ton of money. So Who cares in the end? It got branded a bad movie. Warner Brothers got a shit ton of money. It's weird though, because I'm guessing this is currently being headed by Sega. Sega has like the final say over the whole damn project, and they're used to taking feedback of their fans, especially with in regards to their games and whatnot. And so this is probably their big dream project. This is like if you think about it, this is probably Sega's big chance to finally one up Nintendo in something. Like right now, Nintendo's last big movie came out in the 80s. I mean, unless you can count the Pokemon movies, I guess. That makes sense, right? But like when it comes to like Mario and whatnot, Mario has not seen the big screen in a very, very, very long time, unless it came out in Ready Player One. But
right, and here, Sega is listed as one of the production companies, so it makes sense that for a Japanese franchise, a long-standing Japanese franchise, that the creator of the franchise would have heavy say in it. And so as you said, as long as the movie makes money, nobody cares whether it was good or bad or what people said about the movie. As long as the studio makes a profit off it, everybody's happy. right?
Right.
To some extent. And then here Sega is like, no, we actually want to do this right. And it's not like any companies recently have not done a movie where they've introduced anthropomorphic CGI creatures and not made it look good.
Name and shame, Nick. Who are you talking about?
Detective Pikachu,
Oh, okay, that's fair.
right? We've had that, and so
Okay, Pikachu is already, if you want to call it that, anthropomorphic or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
I mean, he can talk in the movie, so I guess that makes. Yeah.
But we've had Mr. Mime, right, in the movie, and Mr. Mime is the one, at least from the trailer. I haven't seen the movie yet, but Mr. Mime is very much human-like. Sonic the Hedgehog is also to some extent human-like, but we've had all these elements in movies before with human-like, non-human creatures and furry and scaly. We've had that, and so
they're doing okay with it up until this point because they've been fairly accurate about it. But
yeah, and then the trailer for Sonic came out, and even I, like me as a non-Sonic player, was like, that looks horrifying.
Hell, even the first trailer poster that came out where it was like Sonic sitting on top of the Golden Gate Bridge or some shit like that. Just all you can see is legs, and it's like, why are his legs so long? It's just weird because it's like you're trying to figure out what version of Sonic are they basing this off mostly. And I think the biggest thing that everybody agreed on was the eyes. The eyes just felt weird. No, nobody fucking batted an eye that Pikachu, who normally has just pure black soulless eyes in the movies, in the movie here, he has white pupils and then brown eyes just moving around, and it was freaky as shit. What do I know, though?
Right, and I wonder if the fans hadn't said anything or hadn't made an uproar, and if people actually loved the original design, because you also have to think like it was probably only Sega who pushed forward for to change the way Sonic looked, right? Because of the way the fans have been so negative about it and been so loud about it. But if nobody was loud about it, do you think Sega would have continued with the design that they had?
Good question. I would say probably just out of pure ignorance.
Because I'd like to think
they would know.
Yeah, I'd like to think that at least somebody from Sega was involved in like a weekly update, kind of like, all right, hey dude, what's going on? Do you have any updates for me? Like, how's the animation going? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Sega would have been involved to some extent in the post-production process, in the VFX process. And so somebody at Sega saw the original Sonic design and was like, that's a good idea. So I wonder if nobody had said anything, whether Sega would have gone through with this. Or the other case would be that Sega was just there kind of like monitoring things at like an on-paper level, and they were just letting the company, the people in charge of the VFX do whatever. And so they only saw it when the trailer came out, which I find unlikely.
Like Yasuhara, you would think that the creator of Sonic, Yasuhara,
yeah,
he would have saw this, and he just walks right into the fucking movie studio and says, "No more. We're shutting this down. How could you?
Look at what they've done to my boy.
Who the fuck is this guy?" And he points at Jim Carrey. Why does he not have a mustache? He does later. Why doesn't he have it now? Why isn't he rounded like Blueberry Girl from Willy Wonka? He needs to be rotund.
But yeah, that's that. I'm curious as to like what other people think about what this might mean for the industry. Another thing I thought about this article was it brought me back to the Sekiro debate. In the sense that
you only cheated the movie, or you only cheated yourself?
No, like in the sense that we're infringing on like an artist's vision or whatever. And like, why aren't we letting people be creative? And I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, that would make sense to me, at least, or how I see it. That would make sense if this was an original piece of work.
Also, I would like to say that, if this was a work of art and the artist wants to follow his vision, he wants to show his art to the world. In this case, the artist wants to sell his fucking painting. And so he wants to sell as many times as he wants. So he's willing to, add a couple of curves in the right direction so he can sell it to these things. It might follow his vision, but money is also more important here at this point.
Right. That's
Uh,
I didn't think about that too. But yeah, no, I'm like, well, he's they're trying to sell a product, so maybe the vision is not as important as actually being able to sell the product well in this case. B, it's not an original piece of work, and so in the kind of movie this, if this was a parody movie, Tyler, I think I'd be okay with this design.
I
But
wonder,
this
wouldn't it
isn't
be
a
funny if
parody.
they did both? They got one version that's in 3D, the original Sonic, but then they got the other one in like
Either
IMAX.
either you watch it in IMAX and you get the actual good quality, or you watch it in the shitty local theater and this is the version you get.
The budget film. You got Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog.
But yeah, like, you know, if the artist's vision in this case was to make a parody movie and this was Sonic's design, or Sonic in this case, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, this seems stupid. I'll watch it, but it's
Sonic
not.
and the Disco.
They're trying to make there's existing artwork, there's existing, you know, video games, whatever, on this character that they're making, and it's not their original vision, and they're like, I'm gonna make it mine anyways. It's it's one of those memes where somebody's like, here, I made this, and he's like, you made this, and then the guy walks away, no, I made this, and then he puts it out as his own.
Money.
So,
So, a fact and a prediction, if I may.
yeah.
The fact is, right now it's slotted for February 14th of next year now, which is Valentine's Day, if I understand correctly. The prediction I'm going to make is we'll never be able to know this at this rate. I feel like if the movie came out under their original vision, it would have had mixed success. It wouldn't have been talked about that much, but it would have been mixed success because once it's out, people don't have anything to clamber over. They either like it or they hate it, and then you know they're not going to look for reviews. I want to review Sonic the Hedgehog movie, and it's like, okay, great, thanks Polygon. And but now I feel like this is going to be it feels like it has to be a critical success. It has to exceed wildly at this point, right?
Yeah, at this point, like the world is watching.
Like people have made their demands. Sega and crew have bent the back. They bent the knee, saying, "Yes, sir, you will get." We have not created Sonic. We're not creating Sonic anymore. It is you, the listeners, the watchers, and you better. They better fucking like watch this movie twice. The people
It's
that
like
complain.
it's like walking in. It's like walking into a Mexican restaurant and demanding that I want an old-fashioned American steak, and they're like, "Sir, we don't do that. I refuse to leave this establishment until you give me my steak." We're like, "All right, sir, we'll see what we can do." They go get the steak, and it's the worst fucking steak you've ever had in your life.
What the fuck?
Why the fuck would you go to a Mexican restaurant to get a steak?
Where's the ketchup? Where's the ketchup for my steak? El tomato.
But
anyways.
that's the Sonic bit. And
I thought you were gonna say Sonic bitch. I'm like, that's the Sonic bitch.
we're gonna be moving on into our topic of the show here, and we have something pretty cool actually. I just recently learned about this. Yeah.
Do you think we should start a GoMeFund?
A GoFundMe?
Yeah, thank you. A GoFundMe.
GoMeFund. Took me a while.
GoMeFund. So that one that was totally not intentional. I think we should like start it right now just to get the money ready, because I feel like at this rate Jim Carrey's back is going to be destroyed beyond repair, and I think we should get money to help pay for the medical funds, because he's going to carry that movie so fucking hard. Like I'm pretty sure he's going to have to go into rehab after this, because he's going to have to take so many drugs to be Dr. Robotnik.
I mean, if you've seen anything recently from Jim Carrey, it already seems like he's on a bunch of drugs.
Fair.
No,
Fair.
like seriously, I love Jim Carrey, and Jim Carrey's gone on this like spiritual trip recently. Not necessarily drug fueled, but in this very like self-aware, kind of like world observing kind of trip, and I've appreciated it.
It's been weird because there's been a lot of ups and downs with him, especially with potentially physical violence with his family and all that stuff back in the day.
Right.
And honestly, to me, when I think of Jim Carrey, I just like from 1993 up until now, like it's been a 26-year long cocaine line that he just Alrighty then. And, just keeps going.
Right.
But yeah. I think that's going to be good for the modular segment there, Nick.
Cool. All right. So yeah, coming back to topic of the show, I ran into this a few days ago, and I suggested it because I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a nifty little thing. Tyler, do you want to tell us about what we're about to talk about?
Yes, it's the thing that Nick would not offer me ever since I returned back to the United States. It's called the Playdate.
Yeah, because I like playing with.
Boo!
I like playing with actually good FPS gamers.
Do you remember the company called Panic?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, you're right. Who the fuck is Panic? Because
I just learned about them, but I don't remember them, which is what I meant to say.
All right, it's weird because they're bringing up a different way of like saying, hey, do you know us? You see, like for example, we're going to be talking about a company called Panic, and they're like, we publish games like Firewatch, and it's like you published it. Don't forget, Camto Santo's the one that developed it, right? As congratulations, you moved it from a zip file to Steam. Now that is a very, very cruel way of me saying that, but just point it out there, like you're making it sound like if that's the only thing you got going on is that that's your bragging right. Kind of scary, Nick. But this Panic company apparently wants to make something innovative, if you want to call it that. And it looks like a handheld taser that also plays video games.
It's a cute looking thing. It's very, very much. I honestly think it's going to play very much into the nostalgia factor, but it's not exceedingly nostalgic, or at least not that we know of in terms of the games. Because we've only seen them demo the one game, at least on social media. So this is a little handheld console called the Playdate that's coming from Panic. It has your standard D-pad. It has two buttons, an A and a B. It has I think they said it was a 200 by 400 screen.
For me, it was like 2 inches long or something like that.
Yeah, it's a 2.7-inch screen with a resolution of 400 by 240, which is a pixel density 4 times the Game Boy.
Okay, I mean that's still pretty good. I'd like to think.
Its screen is not backlit, but it's been made to be reflective, so it's still easy to play on and easy to see. Like you don't have to struggle as you did ye old days where you'd plug in a little lamp onto your Game Boy Advance and just shine the light,
So there was a little bit of talk about this in articles saying how they wanted to do what the Ouya couldn't, and appeal with a new console without falling into the trap of trying to make itself sound like super unique, and finding good deals with certain companies and all that, just give it exclusivity. I personally don't know how the Ouya managed to fail so hard, but I'm sure there's plenty of good reasons. And this company seems to think that it cracked the code to figure out what went wrong with that and how they're going to surpass that. Problem is, though, some things are throwing me off with Playdate, Nick.
Okay.
Just looking at it. The first thing is, it's going to cost $150.
Yep.
Which for you is like $2 million. Or 200,
yeah,
about
right.
$180, $200. That is currently more than the 2DS, I believe, twice as much, in fact. And so you got that going on. You also there's only going to be, I say only, mind you, but there's going to be 12 games that's going to come in season 1. It's supposed to be part of the package deal. It's supposed to be free. So in the course of season 1, which might be 3 months, 6 months, a year, you're going to get 12 games on it, free.
Right. So just a squeak, dude. I said squeak. This alcohol is getting to me still.
Alcohol. Are you still buzzed?
No, I'm not. unfortunately. But yeah, so it is $150. That's what it's going to launch at next year, 2020. You only get the 12 games in the first season. I'm curious as to know if those 12 games comprise the entirety of the first season. That means the first season is going to be 12 weeks because they said you're going to get one game a week, right?
Okay, that's fair.
So every week on a Monday, I don't know if they said a specific date, but every week you'll get a little notification, and there's like a little notification light on the device that lets you know that you've gotten a new game. So to me, sure, the price is a little bit high, but like again, we have to keep in mind the fact that they're working with a lot of indie developers. Like one of their games, they worked with. Let me see if I can get his name right. Keita Takahashi, who is the game designer and artist behind Katamari.
Okay.
Right. And so if you're getting these for the at least for the first 12 games, you're getting them for free because that price is included in the original 150 for buying the device. I think just on paper that justifies the price of it, but it's a question mark only because we don't know what these games are going to be like and how good they are.
Let's say hypothetically, this feels like a modern day version of the Game and Watch, which I feel like you should know that, but maybe that's not in your.
And they also mentioned that in one of the articles that somebody said it appears to be like a retro homage to the Game and Watch, but they've kind of like taken this idea that they wanted because they've been working on this for about 5 years now. It's not something that it's not something that they're like, oh, by the way, this is coming. No, they've been working on this for 5 years, and they worked with a Swedish manufacturer called Teenage Engineering. So that crank, so the device has a little crank that you can use as control input for some games. Some games either use it exclusively, some games use it additionally, some games don't even use it, but that comes out of the box. Like it's a little thing that you pull out of the box and then flip over, and then you can use it as a crank.
Okay. I'm going to read this verbatim, what they say. We weren't kidding about the crank. It flips out from the side, a rotating analog controller that puts a whole new spin on games. Some games use the crank exclusively, like cranking Time Travel Adventure above, which it shows some kind of time traveling game on the system. Some don't use it at all, but it's fun, extremely fun. And it's like, okay, so it's like, we might have 2 of the 4 games, or the 12 games that use this thing. Or don't. Who knows? It's a mystery. I was kind of hoping that fucking crank like charged the battery or something like that.
That's what some people were speculating too when they first saw images. But I think we're at a good place now where they've come out with this information. They've been working on it for a while. Do you think there's a possibility of us seeing them at E3? I think the floor plans for E3 have been announced, or maybe at another gaming expo later this year.
They could not be taken seriously at E3. I mean, they can have a show booth, but to have like a full-on presentation.
Oh no, not a presentation. No, not at all. I was like just having presence at E3, meaning like on the floor. I think it would be like a start.
I mean, it's kind of scary because a lot of the big players have stepped out in the past 2-3 years, but that leaves a power vacuum for people like these guys to just come, stomping right in. So
either a power vacuum for some of the smaller developers or publishers, or just a bunch of space for smaller people like Panic to come in and kind of like showcase what they've been working on. Yeah, I don't know. I really find this interesting. This is interesting. This is a really cute little device, but I'd really like to know more about the games, honestly, before I buy it, or like what the long-term investment is going to look like. And again, it's only going to come out next year, so we do have some time. They have some time to let us know what the future for the device is going to be like. Because if it's going to be like a one-off thing where really, there's only one season, so you only get the 12 games for $150 for the device. You know what I mean? And like, are we going to have to pay more for like season 2 onwards?
You bet your ass you're going to have to pay more for season 2.
Oh no, for sure we're going to have to pay more. But like, how much is that going to look like? Are we going to be getting 12 games every time? What kind of games can we expect? Are we going to see any ports? I think it's just going to take some time until we get all the information before I can make a decision on whether I'd spend money on this.
I mean, 12 games, I expect like $5 a piece in US dollars. So that's $60 right there. Meaning, hypothetically, if you're to buy the console by itself, which you can't in this case, it would be around $90. $90 for something that has the processing power between a Game Boy Color and a DS, much closer to the Game Boy Color, actually.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm sorry, between the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance, it's like they're asking a lot of money for technology that unless they're trying to argue that the technology is cheap and they're charging like $10 for the game or whatnot. I'm just trying to figure out how they're making the 149 seem reasonable, because I mean that's a that's a cost of a legit console, so it's like they're serious, but for what they're offering, it just seems kind of scary. I would have to see like legit trailer play of this. And
Right. Yeah. It's just neither of us, most people, except for the people who made this, don't know much about what's going to happen. But the very real concern is the price justifiable right now? And I believe they really don't want to give us too many details about any of the upcoming games. So it's going to be kind of like a mystery. So somebody's going to have to take the plunge. It's going to have to take a bullet for the team and buy it, and then tell us what each game's like every week.
Oh man, this will be interesting to see. I feel like if they want to succeed, and I don't think how this would be possible, they would have to grab a familiar title and somehow be able to import it into this. Question is though, how do you do that? There's only one game I could possibly think of that would be okay to work on this, that would be kind of fitting to the situation.
What is that?
Undertale. Can you imagine playing Undertale in this game? On this little thing?
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, it's the perfect size. I mean, we've seen it on Vita, so it's not impossible. As long as it has the processing power, you could, I mean, it has all the buttons you need for Undertale. So if they were to put something like that on the play date, that would be fucking amazing.
Right.
If they did that for strictly the innovation, I would totally do that. I'd be down for something like that.
Yeah, like looking at it, it's a very simple, like little notepad kind of like device. It's this like really bright, like nice yellow. It's got a D-pad, two buttons, an A and a B. It has a third button for what I'm assuming is a menu, and then it has the crank, and that's really it. Has a little speaker, but yeah, like we'll have to wait and see until we get more details. Maybe some kind of port. I'm curious as to when this finally does come out, how long before we see an emulator?
Oh boy, a hacked playdate. That just seems kind of cruel at this point, don't you think, Nick?
I mean,
too soon, man. The game's not even, or the console's not even out. You want to hack it?
I don't want to. I'm just wondering who
Mario or something like that. Crank Mario the jump and shit. Jesus.
Imagine that. Imagine having to play a Pokemon game on this. Yeah, like loading up like a little bit of a remastered version of like the original series.
I think about that on every single fucking console. Like every handheld, my phone. It's like, how well does Pokemon Blue play on this damn thing? And so this thing is like silly and out of once. It reminds me of what C.K. Lewis said one time. It's like seeing an angel and looking at how beautiful and holy it is and how you just want to desecrate her. And it's like, you're looking at this innovative piece of technology. It's like, how can I fuck this shit up? Nick, what the hell, dude?
Oh, the quickest way to fuck this thing up would be to try and run, I don't know, Destiny on it.
That's funny. I think. I'm not sure where you're going with this. If you're trying to take a shot at the Vita.
Just try and load up Destiny. Oh, fuck the Vita. No, I'm not even gonna. I completely forgot about that.
Skyrim on this thing.
Oh fuck! What? That was the joke. Was right there. I'm disappointed in myself.
I know
the joke for a port for a game was there for Skyrim. I'm upset, Tyler.
Maybe get RuneScape on this. Working my fish.
You could probably run old school. Ooh, imagine playing a fishing game, dude.
I feel like I'd break that fucking crank trying to fish the damn thing. I wonder how much it would cost to get a replacement crank for this thing. For those who haven't actually seen it and they're just listening or they're trying to picture it, I'm going to describe the system to you because this is probably exactly what you want. Imagine a yellow square that has the crosspad and the buttons on the bottom. In the top left corner, there is the Game Boy Advance size screen on there that's not really LED, but close to it. And the reason why I say top left is because like a quarter inch of the right hand side that there's space left looks like a speaker and little shit, maybe the power button. On the right hand side, it appears to have the crank, which is just this little Legos Connect looking damn thing. And there's a couple of ports. One is very visible on the right hand side. I have no idea what kind of port it is. Maybe that's the charge port. If that's the charge port, that's a very large port. That means this thing is tiny as shit.
Either that's a charge port or that's what the crank flips into.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right, actually. I think that's the hole where you put the crank handle in. All right. 149. Convince me. Throw Undertales in this damn thing, and you got me interested. Otherwise, it's a no deal. It's going to be a no for me, dog.
It is called The Playdate, and it's coming from Panic in 2020 for 149. But yeah, and that's a topic of the show. We're gonna move on, Tyler. Talk about some video game releases.
You got it, dude.
Do you want to do the last two?
Shh. I don't know why I made it sound like I was doing the Friday the 13th song. Sure, I have no idea what. Sure, yes.
All right, so I have no idea what any of these are. So I'm just like, all right, there's 4 of them. We'll just split them up. All right, coming out on the 28th of May, we've got Blood and Truth. It's a PSVR game. It is a first-person shooter. Yeah, that's really it. It's a first-person shooter PSVR game. Blood plus Truth. That's the official title. And
nice title.
Again, on the 28th of May, we've got Little Friends, Dogs and Cats coming out for the Switch. It is a interesting.
Is it like pets?
It's a pet simulation video game. Yes.
Is this your new stream game?
No, but it was released first in Japan in December last year, and it's now getting its North America, European, and Australian release, and other Asian release, other regions of Asia release this May 28th. Yeah,
it looks so happy. Why wouldn't you want to stream this, Nick?
I would. It looks so boring.
It looks like Pets, the Cats and Dogs game that came out for the DS, and it might
I never
as well
played
be.
that.
I mean, that's understandable. I was about to get into some sexist comments, but I won't.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, cool. Do we know how much this game is coming out for?
Actually, I don't know, but I would probably assume around $30.
Either 30 or 60. I'm gonna take a guess and probably say knowing them, they'll probably push it for 60.
It is 60 Canadian. So I think like
40
US, yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably put it for $39.99. Okay.
Yeah.
And another game that is coming out on the 31st of May is Labis and Labyrinth XL Limited Edition. Holy shit, isn't that a fucking word? So this is actually an RPG dungeon diving game where you're going to have 8 characters you can pick with. Basically, it's going to be one of those, I'm going to throw you in a random dungeon and you want to get all the fucking loot. So, I mean, if you want to skip the whole storyline, just go straight for the good stuff. This would be the game that you'd want to go for. Who needs Final Fantasy with the story? Just cut it out. Go straight to the chase. And then another game that's coming out. Oh, man. I'm still in love with this Little Friends, Dogs and Cats. They're so cute in the video. Oh my gosh, Nick.
Just give us the last game, Tyler.
Are you sure? But okay, so this game is called Trover Saves the Universe. It's created by Justin Roiland, which wait a minute.
You should know that name, Tyler. No. Don't Google it.
Is that Rick and Morty?
Yes.
This game's made by fucking Rick and Morty?
Yeah, do you not remember the E3 demo last year?
Holy shit! I mean, I should have realized with like the animation and all this stuff. I'm like, I said
no,
it, and I was gonna keep going. I had to
no,
back up here.
the art style doesn't look anything like it because it is a little bit more CGI. It's not like cartoony. So
You
because
say
this,
that, but that mouth screams Morty right there. That's a Morty mouth right there. in that
that's
guy.
true. There are some things where you can see the similarities, but this is developed and published by Squanch Games, and it's a PSVR game. And this is one of those other games where I wish I had a PS4 for, because it looks stupid and fun.
Looks like it's coming out it's coming out this 31st for the PlayStation 4. It's going to come out a few days later, June 4th for the PC. But looks like you're gonna
Oh,
get
is it
this
actually
game-
coming out for the PC?
Yes.
Oh, well, hello.
Yeah, hello. And it has exactly what you would expect for a Rick and Morty like game, or at least the style, because hot damn, this is it looks bloody and beautiful at the same time, as a game should. Yes, sir. And it's gonna be $29.99 of the PS4, or $26.99 if you are a PS Plus member. So something to look forward to. I think this might be a game for me to try. I think I might give this game a shot.
It
see
is $33.99 Canadian on Steam.
Oh, thank you for the translation, good sir.
Yep, no problem. I got you covered. All right, so that's game releases for the week. Biggest one here, obviously, being Trover Saves the Universe. I didn't realize it was already coming out so soon. Also, holy shit, we're almost halfway through the year. Anyways, going into this day in gaming, Tyler,
Wow,
I'm upset.
Yeah, you are. I can see exactly why you're upset.
You missed a big one.
Is it big though?
Yeah, because the only reason I'm not super upset really because this is the release one day later than the actual official release, but I still felt it was worthy to put it out because it did come out in 2014 on May 24th.
But we're focusing on May 27th, the day this podcast comes out.
Listen, I think this is still an important one to put on here, so it's on here now. Tyler, deal with it.
Are you serious? Is this your argument?
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I am the captain now.
Listen, it's officially listed on that day in gaming's page. So
On the 24th? I don't see it.
How do you not see it? 2014.
Okay. May 27th in 2014. I'm looking for something that starts with the letter O, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there. Are you sure you're looking at May 27th?
I'm pretty sure I'm looking at May 27th. Yeah, it's right there. Oh, never mind. 2016 Overwatch the Collector's Edition came out.
Oh,
in
2016.
Yeah, I got the year wrong. Never mind. Anyways, regardless, May 24th in
In
2014.
Belgium and the Netherlands.
Sorry, 2015. May 24th, Overwatch came out. Happy birthday, Overwatch.
No, you just said 2016, not 2015.
Sorry. Okay. Let's slow down here.
Let me spin this chair around. I'm gonna sit down in my chair backwards here. I'm not actually gonna do that because
Let's slow down here. Okay. So, 2016 in Belgium and Netherlands, Overwatch
Yep.
Collector's Edition came out May 27th. Okay?
okay.
And I just confirmed via Google. 2016 May 24th, Overwatch came out.
Wait, May 16th?
May 24th, 2016, Overwatch came out. May 27th, 2016, Overwatch came out, the Collector's Edition in Belgium and Netherlands. So happy birthday to the Overwatch Collector's Edition in Belgium and Netherlands because they released May 27th, 2016.
Huh, that's weird. It doesn't even show it on 2016 on May 24th either. That's weird. I wonder what the fuck is happening. Okay, fine. Whatever. Have your fucking Overwatch birthday. It's your fucking birthday. Celebrate whatever. Fucking Sure, celebrate the Playdate's birthday. It doesn't exist yet.
Um,
I'm a little upset with you, even with this wildly obscure situation where I want to celebrate the existence of Overwatch.
So,
I play Overwatch.
I was wrong here. I should change that at least for accuracy. Okay.
Whatever.
So coming out 2014 on all the major platforms, we had Watch Dogs. Did you ever play Watch Dogs, Tyler?
I did not. It was weird because Brandon wanted to play it, and I was gonna watch him play it to get into it. And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wait until it gets a little bit cheaper, and I'm gonna jump on it." And he never fucking did, so I never got to play Watch Dogs. So there's a possibility where I need to push myself to get it myself because I'm a young man.
I wouldn't bother. It's whatever.
Okay.
It's really underwhelming, or at least it felt underwhelming to me. But then I did get a reused copy, so I didn't feel like I was cheated. I think I got it for $12, so it felt like it was worth the price. And I think the main campaign or the main story is about 8 hours long. I could be a little bit wrong, but I played this in maybe 2015 is when I played this. And the price had already dropped in for like the reused copies significantly. So,
them's the breaks. Am I right?
yeah. Tyler, most of these other games are not in my library, or at least in my knowledge. Would you like to take us through these games?
Sure. Came out worldwide in 1998 for the computer, specifically the browser. The game of Euchre came out, which is a family favorite and very common in the Midwest card game. A bunch of other card games came out for the browser apparently that day, but I could give two shits about them. So I just wanted to celebrate Euchre because Euchre is great. 1997 for the PlayStation 1, Namco Museum. Namco had released 3 different games, released volume 1 through 3 this day. I believe I got to play either the first one or the second one. It was a really cool thing because you got to play the classic arcade games, but to get to them, you actually had to walk around a museum and kind of run up to like paintings of the game. My mom actually had a huge appreciation for it. I remember just her playing games like Dig Dug and stuff like that, I believe. So happy 22nd birthday for Namco Museum Volume 1 through 3. 25 years old today is Mortal Kombat when it came out for the Genesis over in Japan. So wow.
First Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I believe the very first Mortal Kombat when it came out I believe it came out originally for the arcade. Don't quote me on that. Don't at me. And then it eventually came out for Super Nintendo and then Genesis, I believe. And I don't remember which. Somebody always said that either it was dog shit on the Super Nintendo or dog shit on the Genesis version. Like one of them was just rougher than the other. More notably, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 came out on the Genesis in Japan. Same day, actually, in 1994, making Sonic the Hedgehog 3 technically 25 years old right now. In the wake of its reimagining in this beautiful top quality movie that's now being rehauled.
Just quickly going back to Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, this one that was released on the Genesis in Japan in '94 was the same arcade game that was released in '92, and so this is a port of the original arcade game.
Okay, that makes sense. Dragon Warrior, which is actually a personal favorite. I played Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 in a collection edition on the Game Boy Color. However, Dragon Warrior came out in Japan for the NES this day in 1986, which is pretty wild. That's a big name. Happy birthday, Dragon Warrior. And last but not least, technically it's probably the least, unless you want to put Watch Dogs and Overwatch under it, which I'm okay with. Lunar Landing came out for the Windows DOS in 1982. So Lunar Landing, one of the very original games that came out for computer, is now officially, what was that, 37 years old?
Yeah, that's insane.
Wowee, Nick. Holy shit. And happy birthday to the fucking Overwatch.
Heck yeah, dude. Fucking fantastic fucking game.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. Fuck yeah, dude. All right. That's it for the show today, folks. Thank you very much for listening. We're going to start wrapping up here. Tyler, where could people find you?
You can find me on Havoc RP as Doug the Bounty Hunter, and also on Twitter at 2x Tyler. All letters, all one word. 2x Tyler. What about you, Nick? Where can we find you? What's your role playing character?
Actually, my role playing character on Ramesh on Havoc RP was Ramesh Paul. That was his name. Like fresh from India, just kind of like exploring a big American city.
We should play together sometime. I'm just saying.
We will. My only issue with RP is it is very demanding energy wise.
Hell yeah, it is.
And so lately I've not had like long sessions to be able to dedicate because I want to sit down in RP for at least 5-6 hours. But
Jesus.
it's exhausting. Anyways, we'll try and make that happen because some of these things are changing, seasons are changing. But you can find me on twitch.tv/LRWarrior11 or Instagram and Twitter at LRWarrior11. And you can find us, Tyler and I, together as Casual Master Quest.
Hell yeah, brother.
On Twitter at MasterQuestPod. On Facebook and Instagram at Casual Master Quest. If you just search for us, we'll pop right up. Or you can email us at casualmasterquest@gmail.com. Send us any comments, questions, concerns, hate mail, just whatever. You just want to say hi, you want to come over and visit, you want to grab a beer, just let us know. We just want to talk to people.
Yeah. You can congratulate Nick on his birthday and ignore, just because he had that, fun thing once a year, even though it's not even on his birthday anymore. Let's ignore the fact that Tyler had his once in a lifetime achievement of RuneScape. Yeah, I'm passive aggressive today.
Did you get like a cape or something?
Yeah, from a guy named Max, actually.
First name Max, last name Skill.
Mr. Skill.
I'm a little funny too. But yeah, any last words, Tyler?
Yeah, I don't have a 99 in humor, so I can't really appreciate that joke, and I'm sorry for that.
That's fine. I'm dad. Oh.
Your dad? Oh, I'm mom?
I'm just throwing shit out there now at this point, just seeing what sticks. That wasn't good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you figured out what the difference between a duck is yet?
No, I don't give a fuck. I've seen a man get destroyed by that question.
Yeah, I mean, you got me for about 15 minutes.
Oh, not you. No, I've seen a man question his life choices because he couldn't understand the answer to that question. It ruined his life. It ruined his night, and it probably put him into a very self-reflective mood that he didn't deserve to be in. But such is life.
Okay. Damn.
Right.
Shit, that got dark.
This has been. I'm Nick. That's Tyler.
I'm Tyler. Hey, don't take my credit. I'll fight you.
This is Casual Master Quest episode 51. Thank you very much for listening, and don't forget to never stop the grind. We'll see you next week. Ah, beat you to it.
Motherfucker. I will. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the episode 51 coming your way. I'm Tyler, and that's Nick. We're going to be talking about... Hi, Nick. That's you. Nick, what are we going to be talking about this week?
Today we're going to be talking about what's been going on in our lives as usual. Some video games. You got Max Skill cape thing in RuneScape.
Yeah, that thing. Sonic the Hedgehog movie is being pushed back?
And we have a new little handheld console that's way too much.
But it has a twirly thing, Nick. Come on.
I mean, that could just save us all. All we needed in this world for world peace was a twirly thing.
You damn right. The twirly thing of destiny. Anyways, we'll see you soon.